welcome to the Group X podcast. It's so good to have you.
It's so good to be here. Thank you for thinking of me.
Lovely. With all of the, let me just say this. When I reached out and you said yes, I was so excited because the podcast has been predominantly Les Mills based in the past, where I've interviewed people that I've known from Les Mills and that sort of my past background. But when I've decided to look at this into different programs, and when I reached out and you responded, I was beside myself because I was like, oh, wow. Okay, this Zumba's huge. Zumba is massive, and I'm excited. I know a little bit about the programs, I should say, but I'd like to know more. And that's when you said, yeah, I was like, you know what, this is going to be brilliant. So I know that my listeners are going to enjoy what we're going to be talking about in the next 45 minutes to an hour as well. So yeah, thanks for being here.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited.
So tell us a little bit about you, if you can. How you got into the fitness industry and how you got to where you are with Zumba now.
We have 45 minutes, right?
Yeah. Your time starts now.
All right. Look, I'm from Mexico. That's why I have this accent. I'm from Mexico, and I grew up dancing. Is part of the culture. Like socially, when you go to a party, it's very normal to stand up and dance. It's not just on the side and watching other people do it, but you actually join in, and it's part of the culture. But also personally, I love to dance, and I did dance, like proper dance classes, not just socially.
Yep.
And a lot of those years were at my sister's gym. So I have a sister older than me that owns a gym back home, and I used to go there in the afternoons after school to dance. They had modern jazz and all sorts of things, and then of course aerobics and step aerobics and all that. I'm talking about the 90s, early 90s, really early 90s. I was 15 years old when my sister tapped me in the shoulder and said, you know what, I need instructors and you could be a great one. I guess because I was already there in the atmosphere of the gym, even though I wasn't joining aerobics classes. I was there already. I had the rhythm, to be able to follow the music and all that. And she had faith in me, and I thought, oh, if she thinks that I can do it, I guess I can. At that age, 15 years old, I didn't know what I wanted. I just thought,
true.
That sounds like a good idea. And if she thinks that I can do it, I guess I can. So I just went along. She sent me off to a big city in Mexico. Guadalajara is basically the second largest city. Millions of people live there. And I was very young with my backpack and going to the aerobics studio every day to study aerobics. Like once upon a time, it used to be like that. And I did that for a whole month. It was immersive, like every day going to the aerobics school, school of aerobics. So cool. I'm so glad that I had that, because I know that's not available anymore.
Yeah.
So I learned everything from musicality, blocks of music, how to use the music to teach any group fitness class, step aerobics, high-low, kickboxing, using a dumbbell, using a bar, everything was awesome. And then I went back home and I started teaching from that.
Yeah.
I was 15 years old. My first class was a step. That was August 1996 when I started.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love hearing.
I know I look like 20, but
well, I was going to say, you said 1994. Surely you meant 2004.
Wink, Tony. I like you already.
Points for Tony. Yeah, points.
Yes.
Love it. So how did you find it? I mean, did you, obviously with your musical background, you would have picked it up relatively easy, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't really a struggle. It was more confidence, Tony. Confidence being that young and standing in front of people that are pretty much older than you.
Yeah.
The people that I was teaching you to, most of them were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and I was very young. It definitely, back then I didn't know, but teaching classes, it did not only provided me with a career that back then I didn't know it was going to become my career. I was doing it for fun, something that I could do after school. And I did it all through high school, all through university. And then after university, I'm like, I want to do this full time.
Yep.
So not only did it provide me with a career, but it really built me for life.
Yep.
It built me for life because it gave me lots of skills, human skills, like how to treat people, how to connect with people, how to handle people at that young age when people may walk away from your class and you think, oh, they don't like me, but I'm gonna go back and try again. And if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna practice, I'm gonna get better at it. It gave me, yeah, just a lot. I'm very, very grateful that my sister saw something in me and instilled that in me. And here I am.
When did you realize that you had got those skills? Because I'm assuming, like most of us, we don't realize at that stage. You wouldn't have realized at the age of 15 because you don't have that awareness of really the skills that you're picking up. You're doing it and you're just like, yeah, in the moment going, yeah. That's something that I think as well, you can't be taught. You learn along the way. And then when that moment clicks in your mind and you go, wow, I've learned all these skills with this journey that I've just gone through over the last 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
But over the last period of time, you've learned that, and when did that self-realization come that you've learned all those skills and that was that life lesson along the way that yeah.
It wasn't, obviously, it wasn't overnight. It was, I could say probably a few years, a couple of years until I was like,
Yep.
I definitely want to do this. I really like this. And now I just need to persist. I just need to keep going and I'm not going to give up.
Yep.
Not because somebody walked away from my class or because I cried after my class because I didn't like it. It was interesting. It was, at the beginning, it was like, I didn't like my own class.
Yeah.
Sitting down and thinking about it. And I'm glad I had that awareness that you're talking about right now to realize that could have been better without, being too mean to myself.
Yeah.
How can I be better? Okay, I need to practice a little bit more. I just forgot about this. Okay, and forgive myself. It's all right to make a mistake. We're all humans. But just go back and try again.
Yeah.
And try again and try again. And that's how you get better at anything in life. That's how we learn how to ride a bike, falling to the sides and then getting back up into that bike, until it becomes something more automatic, something that, I know how to do and it feels good how I'm doing it right now. Yep. I think alongside that, I was very lucky that my sister always supported her team with education. So from a young age, she took me to IDEA convention in United States, which used to be huge, like the convention to go to as a fitness instructor. I remember going and seeing Jay Blahnik, seeing Mindy Milrea, seeing all these presenters that I was just in awe, like, oh my God, on stage, leading like hundreds of people and me like, among the crowd. Oh, wow, that was eye-opening. It was amazing. So I had that as well from a young age, early in my career, and I really appreciated it, and it really equipped me to just keep going.
This is the Group X podcast.
The first, let me ask you, it's probably going to be a really silly question, but I'm going to ask it for you anyway. The last class you taught, as in, a couple of hours ago or whenever it was, compared to the first class you taught. Yep. Now, I'm going to assume we're at one end of the spectrum to the other. Yep. From what they were. But can you tell me the difference in your teaching style from the first time you got up to teach when you were 15 years of age and, that the lack of, or not lack of, but the lower amount of confidence that you would have had then to the class you taught recently where you've been doing this for a long time and you own the room when you walk into the room?
Yeah. It's been 26 years or more, Tony. I think it's going to be 27 years but that's a great question. Apart from just lack of experience and skills and all that, I think what I can say that the big difference is from then and now. Back then, being young and immature and naive and all that, it was all about, are they going to like me?
Yep.
Are they going to accept me? Are they going to compare me with somebody else? Are they going to compare me with my own sister? Because I actually took over some of her classes and I was like, because she had a lot of experience. Her classes were packed.
Big shoes to fill.
Now I don't come to the room or to a virtual room with that in mind,
Yep.
because I know who I am and
Yeah.
I know what I have to offer, and I have that peace that it's okay. Not everybody needs to like me, because I'm not here on earth for everybody to like me. I am here to serve my community, to offer a space where everybody can be themselves, and if they want to be silly, they can be silly. If they want to be whoever they want to be, I just try to offer just a very welcome and inclusive space. And it's about all of us, not about me. It's about everybody coming together to that space to move together and find joy in that movement. So for me now, it's more about well-being than a fitness class or exercise or workout or sweat. And no, it has a bigger meaning, I think, and more in I guess, a holistic approach.
I love the messages in that, and I'll say this now to listeners. If you need to, stop, rewind, go back and listen to that again, because that was huge. And I think a lot of instructors need to get with that. For those of you that are not watching this one, Maria just gave me the heart symbol up on the screen.
Yes.
No, look, it's so true though. What you just said is I believe when instructors get to that stage where it's not about them, their teaching just becomes so different. So different, you know what? And I think when we all start out, it's all about us, as you're saying, you know, oh, will they like me? Did I get it right? You know, oh, are they coming back? It's me, 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 me. We have the Pavarotti moments of, you know, me, 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 me. We don't, we don't need to. It's when we change and when we find that realization of it's not about me, it's about the people in front of me. And I've got to teach to them and make sure that they're engaged and what I'm delivering gives them what they've come for. That is so powerful and such a nice place to be. So thank you for sharing that with us as well. I think that's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
So how did Zumba come into your life? Let's go there.
All right, let's go there. So let's fast forward from when I started in 1996 to 2006. So 10 years after I started teaching group fitness, another sister, I'm so blessed with sisters, another sister, my sister Elisa, she's a nutritionist, and she also grew up teaching, not as much as I grew up teaching group fitness. She was more in the gym side of things, like more like a personal trainer and gym trainer. But she grew up doing that, and then she went to university to study nutrition. Then she came across Zumba. She joined the company, and at that moment in life, I was living in London. I just went to do an overseas, to study English and to live the life and travel and all that. But I was lucky enough to also teach in London for David Lloyd's and another chain that I forgot the name right now. But anyway, when I returned back home to Mexico in 2006, my sister Elisa said, hey, you should get involved with Zumba. You're gonna love this program. It's the both things that you love is dance and is fitness all in one. And I'm like, all right, well, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll go and check it out. She's like, come. She was already offering trainings for Zumba. And she had one in San Diego. So I flew to Tijuana, crossed the border, did the training in San Diego with her. I really enjoyed the training. I really did enjoy the training. And I thought, this is definitely something that I see myself teaching for sure. Went back home to Mexico at my sister's gym, the one that I started with, and I started teaching Zumba.
Yep.
It took me time, though. It took me time to really get it, because I was so trained as a group fitness instructor, using a microphone, verbally cueing, doing things a certain way, creating blocks of choreography. With Zumba, everything is to the music, to the song, you know, and we visually cue. So in a way, I had to detrain myself to train myself again in this modality. But by doing that, not only allowed me to really teach Zumba for what it is and represent it the best way possible, but it gave me so many skills that are transferable that I use now in everything else that I do. So good. So good. It's been so good to me. But anyway, after I did the training, I started teaching Zumba. Then Zumba had a call for trainers in Mexico. They needed trainers in Mexico. And my sister, Lisa, said, you should apply, you know? You have
Your
a lot.
sisters are awesome.
I know. I'm so lucky. You know, you should apply. You have a lot of experience. You've been teaching group fitness for a long time. You've been dancing for a long time. I know Zumba sort of is new to you, but you can do this. You know, just apply. You have nothing to lose. So I went ahead and did it. I'm like, I have nothing to lose, right? Nothing to lose. Nah, I'm going to apply. They responded, come and audition. Back then, auditioning was face-to-face, right? Right now, you send a video. It's different.
Yep.
So I was lucky that it was face-to-face. So I flew to Mexico City. I met the creator, Beto, at the audition. I remember him walking.
How was that? Was that nervous?
That's a really good question. I was very, very nervous. There were 70 people there applying for the same job. Yeah, a lot. That's a lot.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that many, but yeah, I walked in that room and I'm like, ooh, there is a lot of people here. That's awesome. Yay. Anyway, the man himself, Beto, walks in the room, and that was my first impression of him was, wow. What he did, Tony, he went one by one saying hello to everybody.
Wow.
Hi, what's your name? My name is Beto. And had a moment, you know?
Yep.
Whatever. Finally, got to me. Hi, my name is Maria Teresa. I am Elisa's sister because he knew already my sister. Oh, you're the little sister. Oh, yeah, nice to meet you. Very laid back. Yep. Really funny, like really cool. That helped me calm my nerves. I was like, okay, great. And then I went through the audition process. Back then was teaching in front of everybody. And then he may ask you to teach another rhythm and another rhythm. So just to see if you could actually, you know, do that. But also the other part was sitting down and going through, you know, your skills if you were able to organize things and administration and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, got the job along with, I think, other 12 people. We were the initial team in Mexico. I can say that from that team, there are probably only a couple left, and other ones have joined, and, you know, some come, some go.
Evolution.
Yeah, and then how I ended up in this part of the world, you may be wondering that, is thanks to my Kiwi men that I met while living in London. So yeah, we got married. We got married in Mexico in 2008, and then we moved to New Zealand. So I first lived in Christchurch in New Zealand, and once based here, I had a look around gyms and health clubs. I went to do my own research. I'm like, what's on offer in New Zealand? What's cool in New Zealand, you know? I found that it was very, very different from what I was used to in the United States and in Mexico.
When you say different, can you explain the difference? What were you seeing that was different compared to where you'd been?
Different, very pretty much the same on the schedules. So like if you would go to a gym that did not offer les mills, you know, it would be step and spinning and boxing and and circuit, and that's it, and the same. Or you would go to a les mills, at least in New Zealand, they have their own gyms, les mills. Then obviously went to Australia to see what was going on there, and a lot of the timetables were heavily pre-choreographed. So that's what I mean by different. We in Mexico back then, we didn't have the concept of pre-choreograph. Everything was everything was freestyle pretty much, and people would just create their own amazing step classes. And whatever creativity you had, you could create it using whatever piece of equipment, a small piece of equipment, piece of equipment heavy with a dumbbell or no, or with a ball or with whatever. But I saw that there was a difference on creativity and what was on offer, but also once I started teaching and going to classes, it was a bit more quiet.
Yep.
Like back home, we're probably a little bit more noisy, like, woo,
Yeah.
yeah, woo, are you all right? How you doing? Ah, and people scream, and then they sing, and
Yep.
it's just cultural differences.
Different.
So I
Yeah.
was like, all right, cool, I need to learn.
Yep.
I need to learn from this
Yep.
because here's where I'm going to live and where I'm going to be working. So I need to learn what people like, what they don't like, and how I can find that happy mediums. I don't want to lose myself because I don't want to lose my soul. This is who I am, but how can I come and not scare people away? You know what I mean? So when I started going around the gyms here, I was very lucky, Tony. I actually don't like to use the word luck. I like to use the word bless. I was very blessed that I happened to go to the right class, to the right people without me knowing. So I went to a class at the council in town here in Christchurch, and it was a step class, freestyle step. Did the class, I was flying, up and down the step, around the step as a participant, just loving myself, enjoying the moment. And at the end of the end of the class, the instructor comes to me and says, "Are you an instructor?" And I said, "Yes, I am in Mexico, but I just arrived in New Zealand. My English is still not very good, and I'm just finding my way around. And I want to talk to you. Let's have a meeting or something." I was like, "Sure. Who are you?" "I'm the coordinator." So she was the coordinator. I was
Excellent.
like, brilliant.
Yep.
I went to
class.
another class. Now it's called City Fitness, but it used to be called Pro Fitness, the gym. Same story. I went to a step class, freestyle, and the person that was leading the class was the manager of the place without me knowing. I'm like, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." So things were just falling into place. And when I met these people, these managers, I said, "Well, I can teach whatever you want me to teach. Literally, I can create a step class or a kickboxing class. I can even do cycling. But my specialty is Zumba." And they were like, "What's Zumba?" And I'm like, all right, let me explain. So it was really early days for the program in this part of the world. There were no classes in New Zealand.
Yep.
And not even in Australia at that point. So it's been really good to be part of that ride, to
Definitely.
have to start from scratch, from nothing.
Yep.
Trying to convince people how great the program is, to now people, you say Zumba, they know what it is.
Yes.
They may have done a class or they have seen it on TV or something, but they at least know what Zumba is.
Yeah,
So
they're aware of what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And it wasn't easy, Tony. It wasn't easy because we were the new kids on the block.
Yep.
And we had a lot of, nope, hold on your horses, right? But I believed in the program, and I was not going to be explaining myself to anybody. I was just going to do my job, teaching my classes, and very humbly let people decide what they wanted.
Exactly. Yeah.
By people is, the people that attend the classes. And that's what happened. That's actually how I started teaching classes. I just rented a space and I just put some flyers out there and come to Zumba, try the class and see what happens. People just started to realize how good it feels to move and to move to the music, and that is okay to make unexpected solos, It's okay, to make mistakes. There are no mistakes. Who said that there are mistakes? Who invented that? Any movement is good movement. You go that way, I go this way. It's all right. That feels good to you. This feels good to me.
Yes, I love that.
Happy days.
Yeah.
So I just love to be able to create that kind of space and to have a laugh, to laugh at me, at myself, and to in that way show them that it's okay to have a laugh at themselves as well. That it's okay. It's all okay. It's all good.
This is the Group X podcast.
So yeah,
The thing I love that you said a little bit earlier on was that you had to untrain yourself. Yep. You had learnt how to count your phrases of music, and you choreograph things now and as well as using a microphone when you're teaching. Yeah, to undo all that. And I think that's when I remember it coming to Sydney. It must have been 2008 from memory. I'm going to say around that probably. Would that have been right? Around
2009. It
2009?
was 2009. Yeah.
Yep. So back then, and I remember when it first came in, it was very foreign because, hang on, what? You don't need a microphone. And a lot of instructors were having their hands in the air straight away going, but no, I teach with a microphone. We must teach with a microphone because that's what I've been taught and we must do that. And the hand cueing, not saying that was so foreign to, so foreign to everybody that I think there was a massive wall that went up for a lot of people straight away, as you're saying, that were, no, not this isn't going to work. It's not for us. It's no. And as with anything, anytime there's a new program comes out, people poo-poo it all the time and go, oh, that's not going to work. And hello, where are we now? We're in 2003. How many years later? I can't count at the moment, but yeah, it's 14 years later. And look at what's happening. Look at where it is. It's a massive program that is worldwide. And while I'm going to ask you some silly questions around what is Zumba and go into detail for me with relation to that, I think, though, most people know what the program is. They've at least heard of the word. If they haven't visually seen a class, they've picked up on something that someone has told them in relation to that. So I'm going to ask the silly question.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, what is a Zumba class? What would I expect if I was to come to a Zumba class and I've never done one or experienced one before?
It's a good question. There are no silly questions. I would say, of course, it's a dance fitness program, but I would say more than that. It's a place where you can get lost in the music, just get lost in the music and just find yourself in the dance floor. That's all I can say. We definitely
it doesn't need any more than that.
we just provide a space for people to come along and have a good time. We create a party atmosphere, but everything just happens organically just because we choose great music. We have fun moves that go to the music.
Yep.
But it goes deeper than that. I think it's the connection that we create with people, the fact that we minimize the verbal cues and we have to use facial expressions, eyes, smile, all the visual cues.
Yep.
I think it allows you, in my personal opinion, just having thought the different ways, verbally and it allows you to tap deeper.
Yep.
It's like you're not talking to everybody, but it's like I'm communicating with you, that you're here in front of me and I can make eye contact and be like, good on that, like, well done, I saw that. And it's just that moment, it's like, just lifts everybody up. There is something magical about it. And
I just want to interrupt for a second here and just say to the listeners, those of you that are listening on Spotify, jump on over to the website and sign up to be a member to actually watch the video of the podcast here, because that last little bit, the hand gestures that Maria was just using explained everything better than what you were listening to what she was saying. So 100% the Zumba goddess right here as well has just explained it to us in that way, which was absolutely perfect. So sorry for interrupting, but I just needed to get that out. So guys, get in here and watch that. But please go on.
No, I think you have a very good point there. Like most of the experiences that we go in life, in our day-to-day, are absorbed through our eyes, not our ears. And we don't really realize that, how powerful this is, your sight is. Yeah, good. Thank you for saying the word, because of course there are people that are just listening and not watching. And for me, I know I am a visual learner.
Yeah.
Like if I listen to a podcast or I'm listening to a TED Talk, I don't get it as well as if I actually watch a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I retain the information much better. I can comprehend better and take by far more out of that. So
Yes. Yep.
most of us are visual learners.
Yep.
And I think that's why the visual communication that we have in Zumba really works, as long as the instructor knows how to visually cue really well. Because
Yep.
obviously you have to have the skills to be able to lead a class
Yep.
just visually. Yeah.
What would an instructor training module look like? So Tony over here, who's got no rhythm, as you know, from 2009, when you stood by me and tried to swing my hips side to side and they weren't going anywhere, as we know. What would I be in for coming to a module training? What should I expect walking into their room? And is it a weekend course or just is it a one-day?
Great question. So it is a one-day training, and that's just your foundation, but we do have a continuing education program. Okay, so people coming into the program, they sign up for a Zumba Basics 1 instructor training. During the training of the day, you learn obviously the background of Zumba, the history of the program, and all of that. But then we cover how to put a class together, the structure of the class, starting with the warm-up. How do we teach a warm-up? What's involved in the warm-up? And then we concentrate in 4 Latin rhythms. Salsa. Salsa is a blend of different rhythms and cultures that was born in New York, but with musicians from Latin America.
Okay.
Then we have merengue, comes from Dominican Republic, and the beat is like a marching beat. Every beat is accented. So it's actually really easy to follow. Yeah. And then we have cumbia from Colombia. It has a hard, soft kind of beat. So you learn all that at the training, and obviously the basic steps as well for each rhythm. And then lastly, the 4th rhythm, reggaeton. So reggaeton is from Puerto Rico, Central America. It has reggae influences from Jamaica. So you come and learn these 4 rhythms, the steps for each rhythm. And then you also learn, obviously, our formula, like how do we use these steps that we are learning, or you just learned, with a song? How do we put them together? How does it work? So we teach them that. And then, of course, the end of the class, which is a stretch. And then it's basically the foundation. I explained that it's like building a house, that you have to start with a strong foundation, and the strong foundation is layered then and there at the basics 1. But then after the training, there's still a lot of work to be done. And that's where the continuing education program that we have, called ZIN, Zumba Instructor Network, comes here to support the instructor in the journey to become an instructor, to get them ready to teach with confidence. But it continues with every single stage that the instructor is in. So with this program ZIN, we receive music, we receive choreographies, we receive just lots of education, a lot of support, marketing materials, everything that you need to set up your classes. May you decide to teach for a gym, council, dance studio, or work for yourself, renting a space. The Zumba instructors have the license and that freedom to be able to set themselves up anywhere that they want to.
The license is with the instructor, not
correct,
the client.
Okay. Which is different from other programs. So it just gives the instructor freedom, and it is somewhere in between pre-choreograph and freestyle, because there is a structure to it that we have to follow, and there are choreographies that we can just copy and paste. If we, lack of time or lack of knowledge, or, we don't know how to choreograph, you can just learn from the choreographies that are given to you and teach like that. But there is a bit of freedom as well. I call it pre-style. So it's pre-choreograph and freestyle. So
perfect.
in between, right? It's in between, because you still have the freedom to modify the routines to suit your clients, to suit your personality. So we have the freedom there. Just
not course duration, class duration, 30, 45, 60. How long? How many minutes does a class go for?
Most Zumba classes are 1 hour long, but you can structure the class for 45 minutes, 40 minutes, half an hour. If it's a lunchtime class, let's do a quick Zumba in the middle of the day. Like I teach virtually 45 minutes. I have my own Zumba class online, but then I teach in my local community. I hire the school hall where my children go to school.
Yep.
And I have a bunch of women that come on Tuesday nights, and that class is 1 hour.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can tailor to
Correct.
whatever is required. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. The Zim. Talk to me a little bit about that. How is that with the music? How often does the music come out? How often is new choreography coming out? How would an instructor get access to all of that? Is it online? Is it sent out? I mean, I know we don't have CDs anymore, but how are they getting their music these days?
Amazing how everything has changed, right? Because when I started, I used to receive my CDs and DVDs, but yeah, that's not there anymore. It's all online, and it's a membership, so it's a monthly fee, and then you get access to hundreds of songs straight away. But then there is a release every month.
Wow.
Now, every time there is a release, that doesn't mean you have to learn all the choreos. You don't.
Yep.
You watch the choreographies, and then you decide, oh, I need to replace a merengue rhythm for a new merengue. So I'm going to learn this merengue. Ooh, I like that salsa. I'm going to learn that salsa. And then you just add it to your playlist, rearrange your playlist, and that's it. So we don't need to be teaching a whole new class from scratch. It's all little by little. Like I personally just change one track every week.
Yep.
And that's like drip feeding. And my clients love that there isn't a lot of new stuff because they get overwhelmed. If I do a lot of new things and it's all new, they're like, they don't like it. It's just too much for them to take in. And I understand that. It's actually works really well for the instructor because you don't have to stress out about learning so much content in one go. You only learn one track here and there, maybe 2 tracks next week. But if another week you didn't have time to learn anything, you can always bring something back from last year and just change the order of the playlist. And so it doesn't feel that it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
So again, there is a bit of freedom in that as well.
What is the cost per month for instructors?
It is, if I'm not mistaken, at the moment, it's $36 American dollars a month. Okay, and that gives the instructor the license to teach anywhere that they want to teach, anywhere in the world. Basically, the program is in over 180 countries, so pretty much everywhere around the world, you're gonna find a Zumba class, and you can set yourself up any way that you want to. You can work for somebody, you can work for yourself. You have not only the music and the choreographies to be able to put a class together, but you have marketing materials. You can have an instructor page where you can have your schedule, and then people that go to Zumba.com looking for classes, they're going to find your classes because you post them there.
Yeah.
Virtually, if you decide to teach virtual, which you can since, COVID came, Zumba opened up that in the license agreement as well, that we can teach virtually. And a lot of us have stayed teaching virtually, even though we're back to teach in person. There's still space for virtual.
Yes.
We can set up the class virtually via Zoom, just with a very small add-on. I think it's like $5 a month or something, like really affordable. Yep. And then Zumba has a website called zumba.dance where all the classes can go up, and people can pay for the classes online, and then they can automatically receive the link to join your class on Zoom.
Yep.
And then we can also, there is more, Tony, hold on, there is more. We can also record our Zumba classes with pre-approved music. So it has to be with pre-approved music because of copyrights of the music. Yep. And then we can upload this class on Zumba.dance portal. So Zumba obviously manages that portal. People then find these on-demand classes that they pay for, whatever fee you put, $5, $10, whatever. Yep. They automatically receive an email with how to access the class, and they have a window of 24 hours to access the class, which is awesome because the instructor can film the class, put it up, and then go to sleep. And people can just be exercising while they're sleeping. And then that class, you can always upload it another day, next
Yeah.
week, next month, and you can have your own like 10 set of classes that you can just repeat and repeat and repeat and reuse if you want to. So
Yeah.
there are lots of different avenues that a Zumba instructor can, grow
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So it's good that we have all those options. I
Yeah.
feel I feel.
So for clubs here in Australia, is the music being used, is it PPCA free or is it original artists? Because here in Australia with the music license
One
stuff
music.
that goes on, you've got to pay access if you're people don't understand what I'm trying to say with this as well. But if you're using original artist music, you need to pay one music.
One music.
Yeah, the different fees and that kind of stuff. What's music that's used in Zumba?
So it depends on the facility. If, for example, Fitness First doesn't have the one music license, then the Zumba instructor is a bit restricted with the music that they can use. But there are music that has been created from Zumba, like the same music that I just mentioned, the pre-approved music for online classes. This is the same music that they can use to teach Zumba classes in person in facilities where they don't have the one music license. But if the facility has the one music license, like let's say Virgin Active, if they have it, because I used to work for them, then you're free.
Free to use
You're
everything.
free to use everything that you want. What's being given to you from the scene, the network, you can select some songs from there. But if there are other songs that you like that are on Spotify or they are on Apple Music, like I have Apple Music, you can choreograph them yourself, and then you can put them in your Zumba playlist.
Okay.
And you're good to go.
Brilliant. So you don't need to use the music that comes through with the Zin. You can use salsa music that you can find on Spotify or wherever else.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That makes sense in my head. I was thinking, how does that work then? But that's 100% made sense there. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, that's all. That is awesome. I think it's that's stuff that I didn't know coming into this conversation with you. So I appreciate you sharing that with me and also the listeners here as well.
This is the Group X podcast.
Now, I did a bit of a Google search this afternoon prior to having a bit of a chat to you, and I jumped onto the Zumba page, and there's a whole lot of different programs that are on there as well. There was Gold, there was Aqua, there was everything. Can you run through what those programs are, and are they available for everybody, or is that individual instructor training for each one of those programs as well?
Great question, Tony. So yeah, Zumba started just with Zumba, Zumba Fitness, which is the program that most people would know, would have heard, or would have attended a class. But we actually have more than just Zumba. And this is great because you can tap into different demographics or different spaces, like Aqua, for example. We have Aqua Zumba, which is Zumba in the water. So the clients are in the water like an aqua fitness class. The instructor is on deck delivering the class. The difference between aqua fitness and an aqua Zumba class is the fact that we choreograph to the song and we bring the party atmosphere that we would create in the studio with a Zumba class. We just bring it to the pool. So it's so much fun. I love to teach aqua Zumba. It's one of my favorite specialty programs from Zumba.
So dancing in the pool, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
See, I could do that.
Oh,
no one could see me.
All right, Tony.
I would look like
next time I'm in Sydney.
I so much so groove that I could. Next time you're in Sydney, you let me know.
Okay.
I'm coming to the pool. I'm gonna. Yeah,
Fantastic.
I'd have rhythm in the water.
yeah, it's lots of fun, and the properties of the water are just amazing. And I wish more people would give aqua a go. Just aqua in general is just amazing environment to exercise in. Then we have, and an aqua Zumba is for everybody, okay? So it can be, for people that are fit, unfit, or people that are overweight with joint problems, pregnant, blah, blah, blah. Zumba Gold has been designed for the active older adult in mind. So it's a low impact. So it's still a Zumba class, you still have that party atmosphere, but it's low impact. It's also great for people just starting to exercise that, they don't want to go too hard too soon, they can just start with Zumba Gold. So it's a great class for beginners, great class for seniors, great class for everybody, but it's low impact. That would be the difference.
Okay.
Then we have Zumba Kids and Zumba Kids Junior. So I think the name says it all. It's for children.
Yep.
And we have 2 groups within that program, which is 4 to 6 years old and then 7 to 11. Okay. So we have this big window, 4 to 11 years old. So Zumba Kids and Zumba Kids Junior for the little ones. And it is very popular at schools and after school. So some instructors, teach after school. Yeah. And then we have the Zumba toning program that utilizes the maraca-like toning stick. So it's a very light dumbbell. I think it's like 1 kilo. I personally don't teach it. You can always use light dumbbells to teach the program, but Zumba created the maraca-like toning stick because it does have that sound. Like you're shaking the maracas, but at the same time, you're lifting a little bit of weight. And because we work on repetition, then that's how you feel a bit of a burn. And it's a great just to tone your body and lots of fun. And then we also have the Zumba step, so that utilizes the step, going up around the step, like step aerobics, but using the Zumba formula, choreographing to a song.
Sure.
So those programs are specialties, okay? The instructor, after doing the basics 1 and joining the network, can come and get trained for 1 day for each of the trainings if they wish to do so. There is no extra membership. It is that only one membership. Okay? What happens is when they sign up for, let's say, Aqua Zumba, and then they attend Aqua Zumba, when the trainer marks them as attended, automatically that gives them access to all the marketing materials for that program, music for that program, choreography for that program. Brilliant. At no extra ongoing fee. But they do pay, they have to pay for the training, right?
The training,
but that's it. That's it. So all these trainings are optional, but we do find that the Zumba instructors that complete specialty trainings, they stay with us for longer. It's when they start falling in love with the brand because they start to do more things within the brand, but also it gives them more options. They can work with children, Zumba Kids. They can work with retirement villages with Zumba Gold, or they can teach Aqua Zumba. So they just become more versatile and they have just more job opportunities in general. So it's always a good thing to do.
So can you use the same music for a Zumba fitness class to an Aqua Zumba class?
You could, because at the training, when you come to do Aqua Zumba or Zumba Kids or whichever the specialty trainings, we teach you how you can use that music, even though the choreography has been for Zumba, how you can modify that to make it work in Aqua Zumba, to that environment, or children, or Zumba Gold. So yes, you can use all that music because there's a lot of music that gets released every month that you want to make sure that somehow you get to use it. But we also receive music specifically for Aqua Zumba, Zumba Gold, 2 songs every month.
That's a lot of work that goes into providing and sourcing music in the back end.
Zumba, they don't sleep. They don't sleep because there is a lot of work, legalities, copyrights, getting the artists, they do have their own production as well. So yes, it's a lot of work. I can appreciate that. Absolutely.
Wow. That's cool. So how many programs were there in total? Let me run through them with you so we get them right. Zumba.
So the mother of the program is Zumba. And then we have Aqua Zumba, Zumba Kids and Kids Junior, Zumba Gold, Zumba Step. We have Zumba Toning as well. So 6 in total. Now, we used to have a program called Zumba Centao. Instructors that got trained when we had the program, they can still teach it, but we do not run the trainings anymore. So Zumba Centao was with a chair.
Okay. Yep.
But like A workout.
Okay.
Yeah, a workout, like dancing with a chair and around the chair and for support and balance, but a workout. So good. Honestly, I never taught Zumba Sentao, but I attended Zumba Sentao classes. They
Yep.
were so good. It's just a shame that it just didn't work. It's okay. Sometimes that happens.
Yep.
Now, outside the network, outside Zin, Zumba has created 2 other programs, but they are their own brand, their own everything. One of them is Strong Nation, that you may
Yes.
have heard before.
Yep.
So
That was the
this,
one I was about to bring up to you and say, hang on, you
yeah.
didn't mention Strong Nation. Tell
It's
me
be-
about that one
I
too.
read your mind, Tony. We are already like
We are. I like this. We're
connected.
connected.
Yes, absolutely. So Strong Nation is a high intensity interval training type of
Okay.
class. It doesn't involve the hips, Tony, so you may like this one. There is no dancing involved.
Yep.
They utilize as well martial arts, and it is really all about power
Yeah.
and sweat and a workout, your burpees and that kind of workout.
Okay.
Yes, it's really good. It's going really, really well. Those that enjoy that kind of exercise, they are
Yep.
drawn to Strong Nation. We
Yep.
do have people that do both, Zumba and then Strong Nation, but they're very different. Very
Yep.
different. Like with Strong Nation, you don't exercise to the music the way we do with Zumba, which is by song.
Yes.
With Strong Nation, what they do, which is pretty amazing, the production, talking about the music, not the creator, but the person, well, the co-creator, the person that puts all the moves together, she
Yep.
creates the sequence first, and then based on what she creates, they do the music.
Wow.
It's amazing. I don't know how they call it, reverse engineering. I don't know how they call it, but it's pretty
That's
amazing. Like
talented.
boom, 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 and they create the music around that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta
It's
go and look at
It's
it.
another level. It's another
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And then obviously they stretch the music, so it's not a 4-minute song. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They
Yep.
stretch the music, and they call them quadrants.
Yep.
So they have 4 quadrants, and each quadrant targets something differently.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good program. Then the other program brand outside of the network is Zumbini. So that is for mom or dad or carer and baby.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, with a baby or a toddler. So it is about introducing the child, the very young child, to sounds like the maraca sound, the drumming, the claves, and there's a bit of singing involved. There is definitely up and moving around,
Yep.
but obviously it's not choreographed because they are very young. These are babies and toddlers. Yeah. So it's a cute program.
That's brilliant. Now, where is training held in Australia? Where can instructors find out training?
Yeah, so in the main cities, you should be able to find trainings in Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide, Hobart, all those cities. Before COVID, I was still traveling to Australia after I lived there 9 years. So I lived in Sydney 9 years, but we moved back to New Zealand in 2019. So that year I was still traveling back and forth to Australia, but then obviously COVID 2020, we changed to do trainings virtually. So this is my studio, Tony. Welcome to my studio.
It looks amazing, I'll tell you that much for sure.
This has
In again, have a look at the vodcast. You'll see what we're on about here.
yes. And so I am teaching at the moment mainly virtually. Just because of the price of flying at the moment is crazy. So I'm doing a lot of my trainings from home, which is convenient for me, also convenient for the people that join the trainings because they may not want to drive and spend petrol or spend parking somewhere or flying somewhere. So it's just easy doing it on Zoom. I make sure that the trainings is super fun, so the hours pass by, and we have a good time. But if people are looking for in-person trainings in Australia, you should be able to find trainings around the big cities, the main cities, and simply they just need to go to Zumba.com.
Okay, cool, guys. I'll also have a link to the to that website here in the show notes, as well as if you jump onto the groupx.com.au site, and you'll find it under courses there as well. There'll be links to each one of the programs that Maria has mentioned here tonight. So, mate, thank you so much for everything that you have shared with us over the last almost hour. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening and understanding, and I'll say this, reconnecting with you again after many years of not being able to move side to side. When you said a moment ago about hips and about Aqua Zumba, I've had 2 hip replacements done over the last 2 years, and my last one was done February of this year. I've been in the pool doing a whole lot of rehab stuff and getting myself moving, and you know what? Maybe now I might be able to move side to side now that both hips have been done. Maybe that could have been the issue.
Tony,
We might have to see.
I teach Zumba virtually every Monday at 9:30. I know you're probably on your way to work, but if one day you happen to be free, please be my guest. I would love to have you in my class anytime.
Send me a link. I would see if I can get on it and have some fun. I think.
Absolutely.
Look, you just never know. You never know. I may be able to move things around here in the studio and see if I can, have a bit of salsa go on and have some fun.
Absolutely.
Marina, thank you so much for coming on the show, and greatly appreciated your time, and thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing for the fitness industry. I've known of what you have been doing, quietly, little by little, when you opened your Facebook, then I'm like, oh, who's this? And then I went onto your website and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. And now with the podcast, I think it's amazing. And I hope you're proud of what you're doing, because you're doing everybody a good service. You're educating us with other programs. You are allowing us to have a voice and be heard, and hopefully people can learn something, a little bit, a takeaway from this podcast, from each presenter that you bring in. So thank you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you saying that too. Thank you so much.